It's Montreal versus Buffalo again tonight. The only difference is this time it's in Montreal. What do they have to expect against Buffalo this time? Is it going to be an easier battle? Are they going to come out swinging? Buffalo is a young team full of talent. I mean, full of talent. It's just you have to figure out how to harness that. And I don't envy Lindy Ruff at all for trying to figure it out. Let's check in with Lindy Ruff.
Hey, that might be sending a bit of a message here, Frankie, from the referees.
I think that's exactly how you handle a situation like that. You set the
He's doing about as well as you can expect a guy whose team just took 5 penalties in the first period alone. But I think that's from a player injury when he played in the game. Either that or ptosis or stress or something. But that's not a funny joke.
That's a joke. That's an absolute joke is what it is.
Anyway, this was an aggravating game. Let's talk about it. March 3rd, Monday night. We need a good hockey game. Who's playing? The Leafs? The Sharks? Oh, the Leafs lost against the Sharks. Aw, that's too bad. But why don't we watch an interesting game? The Montreal Canadiens are facing off against the Buffalo Sabres. This is the 3rd meeting of the year, and tonight, Montreal has a chance to sweep the series. Before we get into the recap, before I go through some of the highlights, I just want to say thank you so much to the community. We're so close to 10,000 subscribers. The last video went wild. This is my main hobby. This is what I really like to do. And you guys are making it so fun to do it. If you're not already subscribed, please think about subscribing. But let's talk about the game. And of course, we start where we always start. Dans le bon français, let's start with the formation de départ. Starting lineup. We've got Caulfield, Suzuki, Slavkovsky, Newhook, Beck, Laine, Anderson, Dvorak, Gallagher, Heineman, Evans, Armia. Our defensive pairings, Matheson, Carrier, Struble, Hudson, Jack-Eye, Savard, and finally in net, Montembeault. They drop the puck, and there's a lot loaded behind this game. They just faced off on, what was it, Saturday? It got a little messy the game before. Jordan Greenway is suddenly public enemy number 1, and this first period does have an energy behind it. Gallagher gets taken down by Dylan Cousins. Montreal goes on the first power play. They don't click, but both teams are still feeling out the energy of this game. And so is Arbor Jack-Eye, who is asking if anybody wants a dance partner, namely Gordon Greenway. That was my 37th try saying Jordan Greenway, and I wasn't able to do it.
We did 20 takes, and that was the best one.
Greenway says, no, I can't. I have to wash my hair tonight, and the play goes on. As they're cutting to, I think, commercial break, they zoom in on Dobesh, who is looking towards the Buffalo bench and shaking his head laughing. I don't know what's going on there. I wish I knew. So as I said in the intro, Buffalo took 5 penalties in the first period. And here's another one, an undisciplined penalty. Ruff looks rough. And it's going to get worse because Cole Caulfield capitalizes on this power play.
Suzuki. Good pass over, shot, scores!
That is Caulfield's 30th goal of the season. He's the best 50-goal player to hit 30 goals and potentially more. I think I said he'd hit 38 at the start of the season. Let's see if he can do that. Suzuki, Hudson got the apples on this one. Beautiful passes, beautiful backdoor pass. Things are getting tense. There's a scuffle in front of the net. Brendan Gallagher's bald spot is exposed. If you're following along at home, that means you have to finish whatever drink you're drinking. And the Habs keep coming. A little different this time. It's a shorthanded goal by the captain.
This man, we got a 2-on-1. Matheson with Suzuki, shot, scores!
Matheson and Suzuki turn it around. He doesn't make any mistakes. That's Suzuki's 19th goal of the season. Then Rasmus Dahlin is going to take another very undisciplined penalty. That's his second this period. And guess what? The Canadiens make it hurt.
Again, down low, Slavkovsky looks across, and he scores!
That's 3-0 for the Canadiens. Slavkovsky. As is tradition, he's doing better on the back half of the season. Suzuki and Hudson chip in on that one. Connor Clifton, he did a lot of the work here. Connor Clifton tipped the puck in. You take those, yep, that's a goal. We then see Dvorak almost getting one past Reimer, but Reimer gets lucky on this. And that's the end of the first period. 9-8 in favor of Buffalo in terms of shots, but 3-0 for the Habs. Second period, the puck drops. We see Lafferty coming so close. If he was a millisecond earlier, or maybe a millisecond later, he would have gotten this goal. This is deja vu, isn't it? And then we see Arbor Jack guy go on a breakaway, but he couldn't put it past Reimer's pad. Just a little bit more, Arbor. Buffalo's kind of pouring it on here. You're feeling like, Montembeault might not coast to the end of the game with a shutout, and that's when disaster strikes.
Sabres send it down ice. Here's Dylan Cousins driving to the net off the forehand. They score!
Alex Tuck shortens the lead a little bit for the Canadiens. Still ahead by 2, but it's 3-1 Montreal. Jack-Eye here. He loses Cousins. Cousins gets in front of him, and then Carrier can't trash the puck when it gets over to over to Tuck's stick. This was a clinic by the Buffalo Sabres. The second period was a lot of shots by the Sabres. I think they had 14 shots on goal while Montreal had 6. Yikes. The third period, the puck drops and they keep pouring it on. Buffalo looks like they have more energy than Montreal. And Thompson is going to cut the lead to 1.
Up high. There's a hard one-timer. What a blast from Tage Thompson.
This was a hard shot. I think they registered it at like 99 miles per hour. So this one gets past Monty. Monty can't handle this one. But what was disappointing about this is it came after way too much zone time. There was definitely problems in the Montreal D zone. So Tage puts it in and he says, "Let's go, baby." Montreal needs a boost. It would be great if Jack-Eye would be able to fight with Greenway, but Greenway is saying no. So instead, they put line 1 out there and they try to create something. Slav thinks he can still get the puck loose, but they pile on him. Jordan Greenway says, "Hey, this is where I can contribute. This is where I'm a Viking." Slavkovsky is getting piled on by 3 different guys. I'm going to come help. So Buffalo continues with some momentum, but Rasmus Dahlin, the captain, takes a 3rd undisciplined penalty. With time ticking down, he's really hurting his team here. We see Slav make a really nice pass in front, but Suzuki can't get enough of a stick on it. And Rasmus Dahlin, probably feeling pretty bad, he gets redemption just before the period ends.
Down the left side shot, they score!
Why did they do this? It's 3-3 Buffalo. What I really thought was annoying with this goal was Dahlin jumps up against the board, basically after completely killing his team in terms of penalties, and says, "In your face, Montreal." Too much, man. Calm down a little bit, because the third ends. We need overtime for this one. The shots are 36-19 for Buffalo. Montreal really just played that third period, and then they said, "That's good enough." So they go to overtime. Habs win the face-off, and it isn't very long. I think this might be the first or second shot in overtime. And here's how it's decided.
Here goes Matheson. Takes the shot and he scores!
4-3 Montreal. Matheson loves that. He's got to love that one. He needed a good one like that, But hearkening back to Dahlin jumping against the glass, this doesn't look good anymore, huh? So I said at the top of the video that this was an aggravating game. It was aggravating because the first period, they were like shot out of a cannon, the Montreal Canadiens were. And it felt like this was going to be a really fun game to watch. The second period, man, I struggled. I really struggled with that one. And then the third period was kind of more of the same. They weren't getting any zone time in the offensive zone. So if you really wanted to give credit to a couple of players, it would have to be Nick Suzuki, with 4 points on the night, making him, I think, 65 points. What is that? 4 points over a point a game? You got to give it to Matheson for the game winner. And I guess probably Monty, because he saved, how many saves? 33 shots. That's pretty darn good. .917 save percentage. Yeah, you can't be mad. So another win in the books, 5 wins. Let's take a look at the standings for a second. Oh man, 1 point out of a wild card spot. But Ottawa, Rangers, Detroit, they're all ahead of us currently. Ottawa has 1 less game. Detroit has 1 less game. Yeah, they still need to keep winning just to give themselves the best opportunity at one of those spots. It's going to be interesting to see what Hughes does with trade deadline. Are we sellers? Are we buyers? I don't know. Is this the point where management makes a decision saying, "I believe in you guys," or "I don't believe in you guys"? Looking at the trade pool for deadline, it's a little weak. putting guys on that trade pool might return big in investment. It's tough, man. It's really tough. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. That's going to do it for me. Again, really, really big thank you for all the support you've given me. 12,000, 13,000 views on the last video? Anything over 10,000 views for me, I'm like jumping up in the air. I'm calling my mom. I'm telling my mom. Like, this is huge for me. Thank you so much. So like the video, helps me out with something or other. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'd love to have you. And as always, I'll see you down below in the comments.